Have you ever seen Lil Wayne's How to Love music video?
No.
Okay, so in this music video, it starts with this mother who gives birth to this little baby girl, and she's in an abusive relationship. The father ends up going to jail. She gets into a relationship with this boyfriend that is also abusive. He ends up raping the little daughter, and then she grows up to become this stripper, prostitute, ends up with HIV, and then at the end of it, it rewinds and goes back to if the mother had left that abusive situation and married someone that was more of a positive role model, the girl ends up, graduating from high school and then college, finding, a husband of her own that respects her as she respects herself. And it shows that one moment and one positive role model can change a child's future. This is important with education because not only are educators mandated reporters to get children out of those abusive situations to help them get a successful future, but we are those positive role models for them. And being vulnerable and being open and sharing your own genuine experiences with kids is how you get that respect and how you get their attention in order to be those positive role models and get the respect that you need to get them to tell you if you need to mandate report something. So how I know this is, for example, I worked at 2 different places. The first one was Carice Youth Center, which was a group home for troubled teens. Now at this place, they told us outright during the interview, do not share any personal information, personal experiences with these children because they will manipulate you. They will use it against you. They will do everything that they do to break you down because they are bad kids. They are bad students. So part of my job was not only teaching, it was also a residential counselor. I had to be there for them. But I found it really hard to connect with these kids because part of the reason I got into the job was because I had so many shared experiences and I also had a troubled childhood that made me want to show them, hey, look at me now. This is what I'm doing. You can get through this too. I wasn't allowed to do any of that though. So it was really hard to control a classroom. It was really hard to get them to follow directions because they didn't feel like I respected them. Finally, one day, I decided to do what I thought was best. I was picking this girl up from being 5150. She was still on suicidal watch. I was driving her home, back to the group home, and I was like, I'm just going to put on a song. So I played Sage Francis's Best of Times, which was a rap song. It had a few swear words in it. Not supposed to do that either. As it goes, she ends up turning to me at the end of the song and she's like, that was a really good song. Like, what was that? And I was like, this is Sage Francis. Like, that song helped me a lot when I was in the same exact situation that you are in. And look at where I am today. I have a job. I'm in college. I have an amazing life. And you're going to get through this just as much. After that moment, we had an amazing connection. She followed my directions. I was the person that she came to if she needed to step outside of the classroom. I got written up for that. I got written up because I shared information about myself that I shouldn't have shared. Now, as kind of a compare and contrast, I now work at KinderCare, which is a daycare, and while it's working with a completely different age group, we still have a lot of troubled kids there. Families that are not together, people that are in prison, stuff like that. So they encourage you in training to be genuine with these kids, to share your personal stories, your personal interests to help inspire them. And that's exactly what I did with one of the kids that we have there too. She was having a really rough time. She wasn't coming in from the playground. Whenever you tried, she would hit the teachers and stuff like that. I decided that I would try it. I was like, hey, you know, getting down on her level. Like, what's going on? Why are we acting like this? And she's like, I'm a bad kid. No one likes me. Like, sometimes I don't even want to be here. And I'm like, you know, when I was your age, I was a bad kid too. I didn't follow directions. And look at where I am now. Do you love me? And she's like, yeah. I'm like, I love you too. You're going to be able to get through this. Like, this is just one mistake does not mean that you're a bad kid. Working with that and being able to connect with her on a personal level made it so much easier for her to respect me because she felt like she was being respected. She wasn't a bad kid anymore in my eyes. She was, you know, this girl that the teacher could relate to. Ever since then, she stopped hitting teachers. She's actually been sleeping at nap time. It's been an amazing experience. And it just shows that, you know, if you make these connections, they're more willing to listen to authority figures and have the confidence that they need to listen and not just get through school, but enjoy what they're learning. So, connections with students shape not only their interest in learning, but their confidence and trust. And the book talks about this too. Oh, wait, not that. Not yet, not yet. The book talks about this too. It talks about this experience of this little kid who didn't feel heard or understood by her teachers. And how that affected her for the rest of her career. She felt like she was the troubled kid. She wasn't prepared and on time for class. And it shows that just one person could have changed her outlook for school, her outlook for life, her confidence, her belief in herself. And this quote says, "Connection is the energy that is created between people when they feel seen, heard, and valued, when they can give and receive without judgment." And part of that is empathy. And empathy comes from sharing your own vulnerability. So as educators, I want us to be vulnerable and open with our students. And that is all. Thank you.